Good morning. Hello. Happy New Year. It's 2026. I'm Salem. This is Brunch and Build. We've gotten that out of the way. I will be building gunpla. I do have my Red Gundam. That's not a lie. But I have a camera out because that's simply what was on my desk. And I will talk about why it was on my desk. I like cameras and I like photography. I know... yeah. I am sorry about the weird, I guess, delay because I was talking and no one was listening. It's like, man, that's rough. But hello, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, it's because I just forgot to unmute my mic. But I have cameras and I want to talk about my cameras because that's what's on my desk and I can do whatever I want. Before we get to, I mean, I guess you guys can like riot and tell me to get to the gunpla and I might listen. There's a chance I might listen. But for now, I quite like photography also besides gunpla. Right now, I primarily shoot film photography. I have done a chunk of non-film photography. Like I've done digital photography. I have a DSLR. That's what I am streaming with right now is my DSLR. I like photography, but I had a point in my journey of photography. Again, it's something I do for fun. I'm not a professional photographer by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just something I like doing. It's something, and I want to be better at it, but like, yeah, it's a work in progress. It's something I do for fun. But anyhow, I've done digital photography. I think it's neat and I think it's fun, but I was at a point where I was just like not really satisfied with how I was doing in digital photography. I was just not very satisfied with like my work and how it looked and how I never felt satisfied because I would take a million pictures and I was like, I'm kind of on all of them. But I was very enamored with the idea of like, I've had a little Polaroid camera for many years. I got it as a gift when I think I was in like, I think either the end of high school or early college. Like I've just had a little Polaroid camera for a long time and I love my little Polaroid camera. It's really fun that I just like take pictures with my friends and we're having a good time and then I just have the picture and it's good. And I was just very enamored with the idea of like finite photography of like I only have a certain amount of shots inside of this, like in this chunk of film. I only have, and that way I both think less and think more about when I take pictures. I think more in the sense that like I have to be more meaningful with how I use it because Polaroid film and now 35mm film is not cheap. I have to buy a roll whenever I use it, so it adds up. So I can't just be willy-nilly with how I take pictures. But at the same time, I don't like overthink photos because when I take a picture, like that's it. There's kind of not a lot else I could do about it. I won't know if it's good until after I develop it. And I kind of just have to accept what I've done and live my life and continue taking pictures. And I found that I actually have liked my photography a lot more since getting into film photography. I feel like my work has gotten better. And I'm overall happier with it. It's just very charming. I've also, I think everyone's been hearkening back to the olden days now that technology, I feel like technology has been hitting like a terminal saturation, if that makes sense. For a long time, like improvements to technology like social media and phones and all that stuff, like we've been really liking it. It's been pretty great and everyone's like, oh my god, this is so cool. I have like a little phone. Oh my god, my little phone is like a little like computer that's so sick. I can like do whatever I want with this thing. I can like go watch YouTube videos, and I can scroll on Instagram, and it's so neat. I can talk to whoever I want with my little smartphone. And for the most part, a lot of improvements in technology. Again, I'm not an expert. This is just me having my little thoughts. I guess I shouldn't like devalue myself. I am also like literally an engineer. Like I do know some things about technology and the history of it, but I think in the sense of like digital technology, that is not my wheelhouse as much as often as people sometimes think it is. Sorry, weird tangent. It's been the amount of times that people have been like, "Oh, you're a mechanical engineer. Can you fix my phone?" And I'm like, I could Google how to fix your phone. I could Google how to fix your computer, but that's the extent of my abilities. But anyhow, I feel like a lot of technology has been very readily accepted because the rate at which technology has improved has been able to, like, humanity has been able to keep up with the rate at which technology has improved. But I think just the absolute acceleration of everything that's happening, people are getting kind of tired of it. I think people kind of can't handle the rate at which technology is currently improving. And like companies are kind of trying to force us to accept it, and people don't like being forced to do things. So I think the way trend cycles always just loop ad infinitum, I think people are liking the older stuff, the physical media and the like charm of before every single thing in your life became digital and in a small box in the palm of your hand. So it's a little scary because of how fast it's just been coming on to people. And so me included, I quite like the charm of I have my little camera and I take my little photos, and then I get them developed, and then I get handed an envelope with all of my photos, and I keep them. I have like physical photo albums, and I just put them in my little photo albums. And it's just like, I quite love, like, I love the ease of, you know, having your camera, like, there's a little bit of the fear of like, oh, digital media, like, feels so intangible that you're like, how am I supposed to, like, keep this? Like, I can't, like, that's why people, I think, post things onto the internet, so that there is, like, a level of permanence to something. You know, like, all of your memories and all of your cherished family photos and friends and all that stuff. Like, I grew up seeing a lot of, you know, I think everyone did, like, your family's photo albums. Like, of my mom when she was a little kid, or like even from me when I was a little kid. Cameras were still a thing when I was a small child, and my family liked taking pictures. And so my family has like a photo album of photos from when I was like a toddler. And I think that's just like charming, and I got to experience like the photo albums of like my grandparents and my aunts and my uncles and all of that. And I think about like, in the modern age, you know, I have like my camera roll full of photos. I keep my Google photos and all that stuff so that I have all these pictures. But I also think about like how easy it is to kind of just like lose it, you know? I had a smartphone when I was in high school. I think I got a smartphone when I was about 15. And oh my god, congratulations on getting out of bed. I'm very happy for you. I hope you get to eat breakfast. So, it's brunch now. It's brunch time. You get to have brunch. Maybe you could build. But anyhow, I had a smartphone since I was like 15, and I took photos, and I remember. I have the memories in my brain of like things that I did with my friends and fun experiences I had, and like photos that I took when I was in high school. And this is before I knew what like Google Photos was. So it was all just on my phone camera roll. And then I stopped having that that phone broke. It was like an iPhone 4 and it broke. And so I got a new phone, and I realized like, of course, like it saves some of my, like cloud saved some of my photos, but not all of them. And if I think about that, and I was like, oh, I just like don't have access to photos from before I was like 20 now. Because when I was 20 is when I got a Galaxy phone, and I started using Google Photos and stuff like that. And so now I have a lot of my photos from when I was like in college, barring like, I guess that's one of the few good things about social media is I still have like my old Tumblr and Instagram and all that stuff from when I was in high school. And I can see like a lot of those images I did post on there. Some of those pictures I did post on there. So if I want to go look at pictures I took when I was like 15, I can go on my Instagram and see like my old Instagram account and see them. But besides the ones that I posted, obviously I didn't post everything. And I think about that, and I miss that sometimes. It makes me a little sad that a lot of those photos are kind of just lost to time. And of course, obviously physical photos. Yeah, people are returning to Polaroids. I love my little Polaroid camera. I am speaking about, this is a 35mm film camera. I've gotten into film photography partially because I enjoy the charm of just like, I get my photos printed and I put them in a photo album, and I can just look through my photos. And there's also just like, you know, with digital, I can take like an unlimited amount of photos. Sometimes it feels overwhelming. When I'm going through, like, I want to revisit, like, photos I took from a trip from, like, a trip that I took in 2019 or something. And I have to scroll through my entire, like, Google camera log and all that stuff. And I just have, like, dozens upon dozens of photos to look through of this trip I took, and there's like a benefit to that of like, oh, that's really nice that I get to take so many photos, but it almost kind of like washes out the feelings of like, I took like dozens and dozens of photos, but there's only a handful. I guess that's a perspective I've gained since getting into film photography, is even though I've taken these dozens and dozens of photos, really only like 3 of them are the ones that I actually want to see. And that's one of the things that I like about film photography, is that you have to like think about that and make that distinction in the moment that it's happening. And so I love having my little photo album now of like, I go through and I look at photos from like things that I did and trips that I took and like just my life. And I'm like, yeah, there's like 3 photos and that encapsulates this experience I had. And I don't really feel like I need more. Like I get to enjoy, I get to look at these photos of my friends and have a good time. Anyhow, that is my very long-winded explanation as to why I quite like film photography. I think it's very charming, and I love the idea of like, it's like a thing that I look at and I can open this book and I can see my photos that I took and remember these things that I did. And of course it's not infallible. Like I have to maintain them. These are now objects I have. When I was moving, it was kind of a pain because I have these objects, and obviously things get lost to time. Like just thinking about how many photo albums end up in like Goodwill. Like these are someone's like family photos and it's just in Goodwill because someone didn't keep track of it. I honestly think it's a little bit of a miracle that my own family, because my grandfather was very much into like my grandfather was an early adapter of photography, at least when it became like available to the consumer, because my grandfather was born in 1926. He was an early adapter of like consumer photography. And so a lot of, like, he put a lot of effort into, like, maintaining those photos. Even when my family moved over to the United States, he put a lot of effort into keeping photos of his own grandparents. Like, in our photo, it's not too many of them. We don't have a lot of pictures just because it's not easy to take pictures in that era. But I think it's really cool that somewhere in my family, like somewhere in my uncle's house, I got to see these physical photographs of, like, my grandfather's grandfather. Like, it's just there. And because he maintained them. All the photos he took of my grandmother and his family, just like growing up, we still have those. And I like the idea of having my photos and putting the effort into maintaining them and just having them. I don't know. It's all just very charming. And this is all just say, this is actually not my main camera. I have this camera on my desk right now because I'm currently, like, cleaning and restoring it. I got this camera at a flea shop like a week ago. It's a Pentax SP500. It is actually a really solid budget kind of intro camera, but it's just like a nice camera, and I want to try it out. That's the other nice thing about film photography, is it's really not expensive if you don't want it to be. Well, it is expensive. Like, all of it adds up. Buying film and getting it developed and all that stuff. Like, it's definitely not a cheap hobby, but it's not like, it's not as much like digital photography where I have to spend $2,000 on a nice camera. The most money I've ever spent on a camera is actually this one that I also got recently that I can talk about in a second. But my main film camera that I use, my Canon AE1, it's really solid, just like jack of all trades. It's like an industry standard film camera. I love that thing. I got it at an estate sale for $50. It came with another lens, a camera bag, some expired film, but I got it at an estate sale for $50. This guy, this SP500, got it at flea market, $30. It came with this telescoping lens too, which is pretty sick. These lenses by themselves are probably like $100 because it's a telescoping lens and it's massive. But I just think it's very fun. I also have like a little like kind of 90s style point and shoot film camera. Got that guy for $4. Love that thing. I've started collecting, I've been collecting various cameras and things, and I like that film photography lets you collect cameras, because this camera was $30. This camera was $30. My little film guy that I've had for a while, my little point and shoot panoramic, oopsies. Speaking of cameras, pretend that I did fix that. That guy was like $4, and that was a perfectly good little point and shoot. I don't have it on me because I literally keep it in my purse. I keep it in my purse because it's just like my little point and shoot. I usually keep it loaded with film. I dump it in my purse because it's not an expensive camera. It is tiny and it fits in my purse. I dump it in there, and so whenever I feel like taking a photo, I just have it on me. And I usually use that to take pictures of like my friends and stuff, because it's just a basic little point and shoot, auto flash, auto whatever. But I just have it. But this camera is actually definitely the most money I've ever spent on a camera. It was $150, besides my DSLR, is $150. That is my beautiful Rollei 35. It is this thing was one of my dream cameras. This thing has been one of my dream cameras for a long time, is this little Rollei 35. It is the compact camera before compact cameras existed. This thing was this one in particular probably dates to around the 60s. It was the smallest film camera at the time, and it still is one of the smallest film cameras you can buy, even now. It's really cool, and I quite love this little guy, and it's also just a really good camera, even though it's just like fun fact about these little rolly cameras, Queen Elizabeth had one. Queen Elizabeth was partially responsible for popularizing these guys. She had a gold-plated rolly camera, which is very fun. But I quite, like, there's just something charming of all the little, like, manual dials and things being at the front. It's still a fully manual camera. It is still a fully manual camera. It is not a point and shoot. Unlike my other small camera, this is not a point and shoot. It's a little simpler than, like, a bigger camera, like my AE1 or even this SP500. You can't change out the lenses, you can't do stuff like that, but you can still, you know, you still have to worry about your aperture and your exposure, and it's manual focus, which is a bit of a pain, but it is simply how it is. The little dial, the film counter is down here. I think that's very cute. I'm not going to take it apart now because there is a roll of film in here. But the way you change the film is you press this little, this little dial, I guess latch, you unlatch this, and this whole body just like comes off, and that's where you load the film. It's like right around here is where the film roll actually is. I just think it's very, very charming. I love this little camera, and I'm very happy that I have it. And I'm still testing it. Both of these cameras, I'm still testing them. I've yet to develop any of the photos that these cameras have taken because I don't have a full roll shot with them yet. But before I bought them, what I did determine is at least the like shutter and advance works, which is honestly kind of the most important parts of a film camera. To me, if the shutter and the advance works, I'm like, this is a more or less functional camera. When I actually develop the photos, I'll see if there's any problems with, like, if it actually develops photos, there might still be problems with, like, how light is captured inside of the camera. But to me, that kind of problem is a lot easier to fix than if it was, like, a mechanical issue with the shutter or the advance. That's much more complicated to fix than if there was just, like, an issue with the light seal on the inside of the camera. So functionally, these cameras are probably fine. The only problem with the SP500 is that the shutter is a little like sticky, but honestly, I think it's just because it's really dirty. It's kind of hard. You can see a little bit on camera, but like this thing is absolutely filthy, and that's why it's on my desk. Is that I've been actively trying to kind of clean and restore this guy so that it's in better working function, and I can really start using it. But in the meantime, let me move this out of the way. And that was my little camera talk. I hope you guys enjoyed my little camera talk, specifically my film camera talk, but I will be moving on to what this show is actually supposed to be about, and that's gunpla. Let me get my little camera bag that this thing came in. Putting that guy away. With the lens, and also my little rolly camera. That guy will be put over here. Oh my god, I almost forgot. This actually is Gundam related. A really cool object I got recently, actually at Anime Week in Atlanta. I think I mentioned before, I took a week off because I was working at Anime. We're renaming it to the Salem show. That really kind of is what it is already. Brunch and Build, except it's really just I talk about whatever I want. Another fun little object that I got was this laser disc of Char's counterattack. Look at this thing. This thing is so cool. I'm so happy with this. I know it's not a vinyl. I thought it was a vinyl. It's not. It's a laser disc. It was basically an old competitor to like VCRs and DVD. It was basically an old competitor to VCRs that died long ago. But it's really cool, and now I have this whole. I don't think I want to buy a laser disc player. They're extremely expensive. And really the only Laserdisc I own is this one, is Char's Counterattack. But I just think it's really cool that, like, if I wanted to, I could probably borrow a Laserdisc player from somewhere. I have a membership at a video rental place. I think they might have a Laserdisc player that I can rent. But either way, like, I can either kind of have this as more or less a display piece, but also if I want to, I could just watch Char's Counterattack with this. This is just the movie, which I think is pretty fun. I love this thing. I'm so happy with this. Look, it's so cool. I just have the movie. I do not think there are subtitles on it, but that's not the important part. I just think it's so fun. I really do kind of want to try watching this at some point, just to see how the quality, like what the quality of a Laserdisc even looks like. I've never actually watched a Laserdisc. I kind of have no idea how that's, like, how crispy it's gonna look. Like, obviously I've watched Char's Counterattack, but it's like a digital entity. Like, I watched it online. And that's like, I don't know, after years and years of remastering and all that stuff, and digital enhancement and all that stuff. So I'm like, I think it's a very well animated movie. But I wonder what the Laserdisc is gonna, like, this is kind of the OG Laserdisc. Like, I wonder how it looks. Anyway, we'll move on to the gunpla. I almost forgot. I had this box. I'm gonna start this soon. I really love the local Gundam TCG community. I promise this is relevant. I love the local Gundam TCG community. I got this kit because I was trading some of my cards. We were doing like a trade because they wanted a couple copies of like some of my Wing Gundam cards for their deck, but they didn't really have any cards that I wanted. And they're like, will you accept a gunpla as a trade? And I was like, which one? And it was this one? The Endless Waltz RG Clear Alt? Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Wait, zoom in. Look at how, please focus. Please focus. Look at how beautiful this thing is. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. This thing looks so cool. And I was like, absolutely, I will trade you my cardboard I don't plan on playing for this, like, insane gunpla. That's because they are not as into gunpla. Like, they have a bunch of gunpla, they just, like, weren't planning on building them because it's just not what they're into, and that's fair. And I feel like this is a really great trade. I'm very happy with this. And I think that's really cool. This is 100% worth it to me. This is 100% worth it to me. And I just really love that within, like, the Gundam TCG community here, we could just do that. We can just do that. There's no, like, nickel and diming. Like, I think technically I got the better part of the deal, because I think this is, like, if you look at the like, exact market value of the cards, I think this is probably worth, like, $15 more or something, but honestly, we don't really care. It's, like, he got cards that he's gonna play, and I got a gunpla I'm going to build. Life is so beautiful. I love when communities do that. I was actually just talking the other day about, like, how people were, I hosted a little New Year's party. I hosted a little New Year's party with some friends, and at one point we were kind of talking about, like, they were kind of talking about, like, annoying people they've played with or people they don't like in kind of within their own community, like, kind of within their own community of just, like, there's always gonna be people that they just don't particularly like. And just negative experiences they've had playing against people that, like, obviously they mostly have positive experiences, but it feels kind of inevitable to have negative experiences. And that is true no matter what. But I was thinking, and I'm like, I actually haven't really had a lot of negative experiences playing Gundam TCG. I think I would only count, like, 2 out of, like, since beta. Like, I started playing Gundam TCG when the beta came out. Since beta, I think I can only count like 2 like truly negative experiences I've had playing. And one of them was when someone was hitting on me. That was honestly something that I now consider kind of a funny story. Because I feel bad because I should not be making fun of this guy. He was simply just living his life. But I am going to make fun of this guy because he was hitting on me in a way that made me uncomfortable. And that was at one point we were playing. I think it was at like the set 1. It was at one of the release events. I think it was set 1 release. Wow, I just realized both the negative experiences I've ever had are both at set release events. So maybe, I don't know what that says, but both the negative experiences I've ever had playing Gundam were at release events. But anyhow, this guy, verbatim, I'm not even joking with you. He tells me, I like winning, but he's like, I like pretty girls, but I like winning more. And I was kind of just like dumbfounded. I was like, huh? Do you come here? I wish it was do you come here often. No, it was somehow worse than that. It was, I like pretty girls, but I like winning more. And you know what happened after that? He lost. I beat him in that game. And I'm like I felt bad for him. It was like I felt bad for him, and I was like, wow, that was rough. I felt like he thought he was an anime protagonist. I was like, okay. And I felt bad because I truly have never seen him play Gundam ever again since then. That was the set 1 release. I truly have never seen him play, at least, I mean, maybe he's not from the area, maybe he was just visiting, but either way, I have truly never seen him play Gundam ever again. And I do feel there's a non-zero chance that I am partially to blame for this. But maybe it's better off that way, because that way I don't have to interact with him again. But the other negative experience I've had playing Gundam TCG was someone, it wasn't even like a seriously negative experience. It's just something that kind of annoyed me. And just like, it was at one of the release events. Once again, it was at a release event. Somehow both of these happened at release events. I think this is the right arm. I'm working on the right arm. Is for context, the release events are sealed. You get a certain amount of packs. You open those packs, and that's what you build a deck out of. You're like, that is your pool. That is how the release events work. That's how they've always worked. This was I distinctly remember was the set 2 release. So it's not like this is set 1 release, this is set 2 release. I still am contract. It's still a new game. Okay, I'm willing to forgive and forget some things. And whenever people had like rules questions and things like that, I was like, obviously this is still a new game. Like, not every single person knows how to play this game perfectly yet. People have rules questions, people hesitate, struggle kind of. And I never got upset at that, because I'm like, well, yeah. But this guy, he won right off the bat, told me that he cheated at the game because he traded with someone to complete a link pair that he didn't have in his card pool. He had Kshatriya, the unit that's really good, but he didn't have Hamon Karn. Not Kshatriya. I forgot which specific unit it was, but he had the Hamon Link unit, but he didn't have Hamon the pilot. He didn't pull Hamon the pilot, and so he was like, he traded with someone so that he could have Hamon the pilot and complete the link pair, which is against the rules. And technically, I would have been within my rights if I reported him, but I didn't, because I didn't want to be mean. And I was like, listen, it's not like we're playing for prizing. This is just a fun release event. I'm not here to take that too seriously. And I had zero intention of like reporting him. I never did. I didn't report him or anything, but I was just like, you know what? It's fine if he cheats at the game a little bit. It annoys me a little bit, but like, because I barely pulled any link pairs and the only link pairs I did pull in my pool were ones that weren't even good. So I actually didn't even play any link pairs in my deck. And I did the thing that I had no other option for. Yeah, it was Quebly. It was probably Quebly, because I remember it was like the big one, which is Quebly. So he pulled Quebly, but no Hamon. And I didn't have any good link pairs, so I just didn't play any of them. And so I did the thing that I'm like, well, there's literally nothing else I can build, so I'm just gonna load this deck with 10 million units that are small fry units, and pray that I can win faster than they can play their good cards. And it actually did do me pretty well, because in that game that I was playing against that guy, even though he literally cheated, I was winning. I was winning because I just had a million little guys. It's simply how I built my deck. I had 1 million little guys, and I think I placed like second or third in the event. I mean, it's not like there's prizing. It's not like it super matters, but I was like, you know what? I was, even though I didn't pull anything particularly good in my sealed pool, I still did pretty well. But anyhow, this otherwise would have been a pretty like normal interaction that I wouldn't think too much about. But as the game progressed and it was clear that I was winning, he started complaining. He was like, oh, that's not fair that you just keep pulling. I can't believe you top decked. I can't believe you top decked that unit. I can't believe you top decked like one of the 2 pilots you have, a pilot at the right time. I had like 2 pilots in that entire deck. None of them were links. So I couldn't even do anything. But I buffed my unit enough that I could kill something. And I was like, yeah, it just worked out. It was good timing. But anyhow, this guy had the audacity to complain to me that when I was winning. And like, normally this kind of banter I wouldn't think about. I wouldn't have 2 thoughts about. I'm like, oh haha, yeah, we're joking, you know, you're upset that I won. You're upset that I'm winning, but I'm like, not only do you have the gall to cheat, again, I didn't report him, but I did tell him, I'm like, you know, you're not supposed to do that, right? I was like, just for future reference, you are not supposed to do that. This is a sealed pool. That puts you at an unfair advantage against other players, because you are just supposed to build with what you have in front of you. Like, no, most people don't have like solid linked pairs. Thus, trading so that you did get a solid link pair is unfair. But anyhow, I did tell that to him. He does understand this after I told him. And then he still had the audacity to like complain when I was winning, like he wasn't already at an advantage against me. And it just soured that entire game for me. I was like, I just don't like you now. Like, this guy didn't do anything particularly bad. It's not like he committed anything heinous against me, or he made me uncomfortable or anything like that. Truly, he just annoyed me. It was just annoying. And it just left a bad taste in my mouth, and now I just don't like that guy. And the real tea is that he does play at my locals. I have seen him since then, and I just don't like him. He hasn't done anything bad since then. He hasn't done anything since then. He's just like a guy who plays Gundam. Yeah. Yeah, the true skill of a cheater is whining after a lose. Yeah, that's exact. I'm like, come on. And now I just don't like him. I just don't like this guy. Like, truly, he's damaged his reputation to me, his reputation in my eyes, that I just don't like him now. I kind of don't care how normal he is at locals. I don't want to be friends with him, and I feel a little bad sometimes, because you know, we're all playing, and sometimes he'll occasionally make like casual conversation with me, and I will just not really engage with it. Of like, oh, you want to be friendly? And I'm like, I don't want to be friends. I'll be real. I haven't said this, but I'm like, I just don't want to be friends with this guy. I just don't like him. And of course, I'm not like being mean to this person. I wouldn't want to like be mean to someone, but it doesn't mean he's entitled to be friends with me after doing something annoying. And that's quite simply how I feel about the matter. And so in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big of a crime. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not that big of a crime as a player, but it was enough that I don't like this guy now. And those are really the only negative experiences I've ever had playing Gundam. Oh, excellent. I'm glad you're cleaning your desk. See, that's close enough. That's something I really should do too, but I have not. I clean my desk every once in a while, but I have not cleaned it in a hot minute. But that's a problem for me of later. How does this piece go? Where is this piece supposed to go? Where does this piece actually go? But yeah, I feel a little bit like, I guess, spoiled. I feel a little spoiled because of how nice the community, like the local Gundam community is here. Because I literally have friends, one of my friends who lives in New York, drive up here to play Gundam, to play in some of the release events and stuff, because the community in New York just sucks. The community in New York just like mostly sucks. People are more focused in like hustling than they are actually playing the game. And even when they do actually play the game, like they're just like not friendly. No one wants to trade cards. I remember when he came up here and people were just like trading cards, and he was participating in just like trading cards in the trading card game. He was like, oh my god, people actually trade cards here? That's so great. Like, that's so nice. I'm like, what do you mean? I can't believe people trade cards here. It's a trading card game. What else do you do in the trading card game besides trade cards? And so I do feel like it is quite nice that that is the extent of my negative experiences, because I know it could be so much worse, considering how my friend talks about his experiences playing in New York and all that stuff. Oh my god. He was telling me for the Iron Bloom, like the classic Bandai TCG experience, yeah. I think he was telling me about getting into the one of the starter deck release events. And so many people showed up and just to buy the deck and leave that they couldn't even fire the event. He just didn't get to play. They couldn't, because they just didn't have enough people there to actually play the game. It was so crazy to me. I'm like, huh? What do you mean they can just do that? It's so insane. I do love the local community. It's very nice. Gundam in general is just a fun game, and in my experience so far has been fun and chill, and I've only had fun playing the game. I'm gonna be playing some things to look forward to. Is that I'm gonna be playing in some of the new type challenges. I haven't played in any of the current season yet, but I think my first one is this weekend. Very fun and exciting. I'm still deciding what model kit to start building. Well, me too. Me too, brother. No, I'm kidding. I'm working on Red Gundam now. I think what I'm probably going to do next is that. Clear Alt Wing Zero, even though I have so many things in my backlog. You know, I still haven't even decided what I'm building after Red Gundam. Once I finish Red Gundam, I honestly don't really know what I'm going to do on stream. But I have enough stuff in my backlog that we'll figure it out somehow. Good luck. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing in a new type challenge this weekend, and then I also have one the weekend after. So the road to Hamon Karn is not over. It is about to begin. I still haven't fully decided what deck I'm bringing. there's a good chance I'm bringing my blue-green Charmero. There's a good chance I'm bringing my blue-green Charmero. But I am someone who did not build this deck to be competitive, okay? I play... You see, technically this is like a meta... It's a meta pick, okay? It's a meta deck because blue-green aggro is doing pretty good because it's aggro and it's just a good combo. And people like it because it's good. But I will be 100% real with you. I'm playing a deck that's meta by accident, okay? You see, I'm simply built differently. I don't play blue-green. I don't play 1 Year War because it's meta. I play 1 Year War because I want Char and Amuro to kiss. That's why I play this deck. And I have made decisions in this deck, like when building it, not necessarily informed by what is going to be the best gameplay-wise, and more so what I think makes sense narratively, and the narrative I'm trying to craft. And also just is more fun for me to play, you know? I have like kind of my own like particularities with how I like to play trading card games. I have my own little things that I like to do and how I like to play. And I don't particularly care whether or not it is with the alignment of what is like generally good. Of course, in like a competition like this, I'm going to try and win and try and be good at the game. But my build, this is all to say, is my specific blue-green build is not really the same as how other people have built this deck. And yeah. So I am not as confident in my ability to win because I know people have been bringing blue-green decks that are more competitive, and I'm like, ooh, I think if I play against like an actually competition built 1 Year War deck, I will lose. But also, I still want to play. But it's like, not that it's a bad deck. I don't think my deck is bad. I think it's pretty solid. It's won me games. It's done me good. I think it's a pretty solid deck. But it's not the most like hyper competitively viable deck ever, you know? Afternoon from Atlanta, Georgia. It's been a while since I was able to catch your live stream. Thank you for tuning in. I was actually just in Atlanta, Georgia, not that long ago for Anime Week in Atlanta. What a coincidence. I was just talking about it. I had a lot of fun at Anime Week in Atlanta. Nothing too crazy happening, but I did get to go see Flow in concert. Love Flow. They're a really good band. And I didn't think I would ever experience people moshing to a Naruto opening, but I did now. And it wasn't even a bad experience. Originally I was like seated. I was seated and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have like a fun little chill time at this concert. I'm pretty tired from working all day. I don't want to do anything too crazy. And then Colors came on. And then Colors was about to come on, and I was like, okay, never mind. I take everything back. I will be in the pit. I will suffer because I'm 5'2", and I hate being in pits because I'm 5'2", and people are not nice to me. Well, that's kind of like, people are usually pretty nice to me, but it still sucks because I can barely see. I did get in the pit. And I had the time of my life. I had such a good time. It was really fun. And I had a really good time. Just like, I don't think I've ever jumped that much in my life. I didn't even know I could jump that much. I didn't know I had the ability to jump as much as I did at that concert. And I had the time of my life. I was having a great time. I love that concert. I love Flow. Flow is so talented. They're so good. Their energy is huge. Like, those people know how to perform. Like, those are people who know how to perform. And it was great. Besides that, I didn't really do a ton else. I went to a VTuber concert. I had fun at the VTuber concert. I went to a couple of the idol showcases because I think they're cool. I love idols. I love underground idols. Whoa! Got to an EDM show a few weeks ago. Shoutouts to Gold Sounds in Brooklyn. That's pretty cool. I'm not really an EDM guy, but I have a lot of friends who are EDM people, and I think EDM shows seem cool. It's something that I don't think I could do regularly, but I do feel like I want to experience like a proper EDM show at least once, because I'm someone who likes concerts. I like going to concerts, and I like live music. And I like a lot of different types of live music. And I think, like, I just want to experience that and see what it's like. That's really cool. I'm really glad you had a good time. But Flow is really good. I love the little underground idol shows. Man, I love idols in general. Idols are so neat. And I recently got into an idol group, like a bigger idol group called Juice Juice. I think it's stylized like juice equals juice. That's the group name. But they are so insanely good. Oh my god. They're so insanely good. Their songs are really catchy. These girls are so, these girls can sing. A lot of idols, at least like J-idols, they are not as focused on like technical skill, just because that's not really the main appeal of J-idols. Of course, they have to have an amount of technical skill, and part of like the appeal of J-idols is experiencing like the growth of an idol and seeing them get better and better at their craft and stuff like that. Like, that's part of the experience for J-idols. But sometimes I really do like when they just have girls who know how to freaking sing. And that's what I really like about Juice Juice, because on top of that, not only can these girls like really sing, like these girls can really sing. They don't make them sing in like the high-pitched like idol voice. They don't make them like I'm not trying to knock the idol songs. I say this as someone who loves idol music. I love idol groups that are more like cutesy, and I can hear them like singing like that. Like I like that style too, but I also love that they don't make these girls do that. Like, these girls are singing in their real chest voices, and it's so nice. It's so nice. And their music is very good, and they're so talented. And they're like not unpopular. They're part of Hello Project, which is like one of their like next to AKB project as like prestige idols. If you can, like, again, it's kind of funny to conceptualize like the idea of like a prestige idol, but like they really are like a heritage group, is Hello Project, along with like AKB, of just like producing like some of the best idols, and it's really cool. And they're a Hello Project group. And so it's like, it feels like I was the one out of the loop, if that makes sense. Like, I love idols and I want to be more into idols. But it's one of those things that I still feel like I am new to the community. And I am a lot fresher to the like idol culture, like J-idol culture, even though I'm kind of not. Like, I've been into idols for a long time, but it still feels like I'm kind of newer to the culture because I feel like it's kind of just hard to get in. Not hard, like, obviously people who are into idols, like Western people who are into J-idols, are so good at just like really getting out there and trying to like spread the good word of idols. But it's just like not as accessible. I think that's the right word. It's not as accessible because they don't, unlike K-pop and stuff like that, like Korean idols, they really do not put any, like very rarely put any effort into appealing to Western audiences, like global audiences. They put like barely any effort into appealing to like to global audiences. Like 90%, even like really popular idol groups like Juice Juice. Juice Juice is like really popular. Like they have played in Budokan, they've played at the Dome, like they've played at like huge venues. They are properly famous. But almost all of their media is purely in Japanese. Like you can barely search their song titles in English and have stuff come up. Like I've been able to find more of their music because I at least have like a very basic level of Japanese. Atarashi Gakko is an idol group. I love Atarashi Gakko. I think Atarashi Gakko is also one of the few idol groups that's like at least tried to appeal to global audience because they have concerts in the States and they've signed with like an American label. They have actually like signed under an American label, at least for like like Western distribution stuff. Atarashi Gakko is like a non-traditional group, but they are definitely still idols. And I think they're really cool. I love Atarashi Gakko. I think they're great. Also similarly, extremely talented. Is it the Casfall? Is it the Casfall Gundam? Yeah. G-Quax does exist. This is in fact, I do love that they just, in G-Quax, it's just the Gundam, but it's red. It's Gundam, but red. So it is Red Gundam. And it makes it hard to identify, but it is in fact just the G-Quax Red Gundam is what I'm building. That's funny. But yeah. Idols in general are just not too accessible. And I wish I want to be more plugged in to idols. Like I want to be into like properly underground idols and stuff like that, but it is hard enough to get into mainstream idols. Like Juice Juice, AKB, like Cutie Street, Fruit Zipper, like those are all they're all idol groups that I like, but they're also all like fairly mainstream idols. All of them have like fairly mainstream success in Japan. And so it's kind of like I feel, you know, like I want to be more into underground idols. I do. I love the culture and I love the environment and I want to be more into like properly underground idols and stuff. But it's just like almost impossible if you are American. But there are like, obviously, there are people out there. Like I think a huge inspiration for me is like Mint Fantôme and her dedication to idols and her love of idols. Like she is in the front lines. Like she has lived in Japan and has gone to like, is a fan of like underground idols and stuff like that. Like she's in there. And I know people who are more into idol stuff than I am. She's like, I have friends who are more into idol stuff than I am that are like more plugged into all of it. And I want to do that. Like I want to be more plugged into it, but I still feel like a very mainstream fan, you know? But eventually we're getting there. Hello, I have bad news. My model kit's torso is broken. No. And order the spare part is sold out. And I don't want to buy the same kit for just torso. For just the torso. Ugh. Is it... I know you probably already thought about this. I'm like, is it possible to glue it? To do something? But it is the torso. That's not a part you want to glue. Because it is usually intended to move around. So, that's rough. I'm sorry, ma'am. Maybe if you know someone who has the same kit, maybe they can spare you the part or something, unless it's like a one-of part. That sucks. That has happened to me a couple times of just like, I break this one hyper-specific piece and it costs like $10 million to get it. Either it's sold out and you just can't find the replacement part, or it's just really expensive with shipping and everything. And I'm like, I don't want to pay $15 in shipping for this like minuscule piece of plastic. Yeah, bootleg. Buying bootleg kits is also not a bad idea. What I've done, because it is a skill set that I have, is that I've just resin printed the replacement. I kind of just like approximated the design and printed the replacement because it was like, it's been parts that I've been able to do that for. Or I kind of just like fashioned a little bit out of runner plastic. But buying a bootleg kit is not a bad idea either. If I didn't have the ability to just resin print it, I probably would do that. And it's not perfect. My skills aren't like the best in the world, but I have been able to manage. I've been able to manage. Kind of just like trying my best. I've been able to manage kind of just like trying my best. I want this. Wait, how do I? This is supposed to be this way. Yes, this is supposed to be this way. Won't even, yeah. After building HUC Gundam Unicorn Destroy Mode, his shield is broken. No! That's so sad. Yeah. I don't really do that. It's always luckily been like more been parts that I could pretty easily like replicate, and nothing like very important and aesthetic, like an important aesthetic part. Something like the shield though is brutal. Yeah, that's rough. I have like, there is one that like for one of my Mecha Girl kits, I broke one of the important like hair pieces. That one was rough. I broke one of the important hair pieces, and it's not one that I could model myself because it was like, it's a complicated, not complicated, but it's just like an aesthetic piece and I don't want to mess it up. And the texture wouldn't really be right because it's white, and I'd have to like paint it and buy the paint and do all of that, and I just didn't want to. / I wasn't really confident in my ability to. And I couldn't buy the replacement part because it was sold out online, and I was like, oh man. So I ended up, one of my friends, by sheer chance, has the same kit. And so the reason why I couldn't like, so each kit like came with multiple of these hair pieces, but it's one of those kits that have like multiple hairstyles that I can put. And one of like my spare hair piece for this, I had already used because I glued it as part of like, I already glued it on to like a head assembly. One of the like head assembly options, I already glued that together. So I didn't have the spare part and I broke the other one. So if I wanted the other hairstyle, I just like couldn't because I didn't have the piece. But luckily I have a friend who had the same kit and they weren't planning on building the spare like head setup. So they were able to give me give me that piece. And otherwise I just like, I would have been out of luck. That would have been it for me. But thankfully, I did not have to. Thankfully, I was able to get it. They've stocked and told me bestseller. Aw, that's really nice. I do like when online sellers are very nice to you about it. That's good at least. I hope you can get. I do hope that you can get another one because that does suck. Yeah, because that does suck. Okay. Okay. I am a little bit hungry. This goes this way. This goes in here. I'm a little bit hungry, but thankfully I have a lot of leftovers. I think I mentioned before, I hosted a little New Year's party. I hosted a little New Year's party this year. It was stressful because we didn't get catering. Like it was just me cooking. And we ended up having more people than we originally kind of expected / planned for. Like, I was ballparking maybe like an upwards of like 10 people. Like, I was thinking more like 6 to 8 was my thought process when I decided to do this. But I was like, that sounds like a pretty fair group of people. But then we, invited people, assuming kind of like, we sent out like a good chunk of like kind of informal invitations of like, it's not like this was like a formal party. There were no real invitations. It was kind of just like, hey, are you free New Year's? Are you doing anything? Kind of assuming that people would be busy because it was kind of last minute. Not like it was like last week, so it was a little last minute. And it's New Year's. A lot of the time people have New Year's plans to do other stuff. And so we asked, a few of our friends and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm busy. Oh, it's okay, that's fine. And just asking other people like, oh, are you free? And, but then several other people had several people had like their plans canceled or changed. And we're like, oh, actually I can come. But at that point we've already invited other people. And now it's like, oh, now we have 15, 16 people coming to this New Year's party. Okay. And I didn't dislike it. I had a good time, and I'm really glad that all the people who came were there because I like them. But it was still a mildly stressful experience because I made pumpkin feta dip to go along with the rest of the charcuterie board that I set up for an appetizer. I then made chicken gnocchi soup. That was very good. That was kind of part of the mains, but also just like, I made chicken gnocchi soup. I made roast honey nut squash. We had salad. We had, luckily, my roommate did help with making a pot roast. He made like a nice little braised beef. That was really good. I made pomegranate glazed salmon. And I also made a cheesecake for dessert. And also one of our there are some people who did bring some food. One of the guests brought like a buffalo chicken dip, and someone else brought stuffed mushrooms that were really good. So luckily some people did help, but I was still doing the majority of the cooking. And I was like, ooh, stressful. But I ultimately still had a lot of fun. I like cooking for people. I like hosting. It's something that I've always enjoyed. And I like that I get to do that. It's definitely an experience since moving out of my, since moving out of my tiny New York apartment. I still did try to do hosting and stuff when I lived in New York, but it was kind of hard to host when my apartment is 2 rooms and my main eating table can generously seat 3 people. That's being generous. 3, maybe 4 if you really squeeze. And so it's a little hard to do that. But I still tried. And now that I live in an actual house that has an actual dining room and a kitchen, it's like, oh my god, this is great. So we got to host a little party, and it's not like we were strapped for space. We were able to accommodate 15 people, which is crazy. I mean, it was a little strapped for space. Obviously our table did not fit that many people, but we were able to spread enough people out in the living room and stuff that we were like, you know what? No one was squeezed. But I did a lot of cooking, and it was very nice because I a thing that I am a little, I guess an insecurity you could say, is that I've never been someone who's particularly good at cooking like main dishes, if that makes sense. Like proper dinner meals. When it comes to like cooking, I'm a lot more skilled at like side dishes. I can make a million different really good side dishes. I can make like, I don't know, man. I'm not as skilled at making that kind of like centerpiece dish, kind of like meat dish food. And that's supposed to be like real centerpiece, like biryanis and stuff like that. Like I've never considered myself really good at that. That's because everyone in my family is an insanely good cook. And I'm like, well, it's not like I could ever be that good. I mean, I guess I can be, but I'm just not right now. So I don't actually cook that much like big centerpiece, like main dish type foods. And so it was a bit of a challenge for myself of just like, yeah, I wonder if I can do this. If I could just do that. And so you know what? I did. But also, yeah, to toot my own horn, I did pretty good. Everyone liked my soup and my salmon. My roommate's he's good at braised beef, and it came out really good because it's always come out good. And so that was a good dish. But my soup and my salmon and my little charcuterie board and my feta dip and my cheesecake. I also do consider myself good at baking. I like baking. I've always been pretty good at baking. But it was nice. I had a good time. I had a really good time. And it was fun. And I had New Year's. It still is not like, I don't know, man. The time is made up. Calendars, we made those up. We made those things up. It's fine. I don't really put an insane amount of significance on stuff like New Year's. At least like personally I like the idea of just like, I like celebrating with people. I like having a good time. And I think that aspect of it, I'm not like, oh, I think New Year's it doesn't matter. I'm not going to do anything for New Year's. I'm like, no, I had a whole New Year's party. I had a good time. But in terms of like, I feel like the way other people put a significance on like New Year, New Me, like that kind of thing of like New Year's resolutions and stuff. I know. I'm like the 10 millionth person to say that they don't believe in New Year's resolutions. And it's not because I'm just coping with being bad at them. It is a little bit coping at being bad at them. But I think the real wisdom that I've learned is that, at least for me in particular, I don't like the framing of New Year's resolutions because it feels like a limiting factor, if that makes sense. A lot of the time when people have New Year's resolutions, it is like lifestyle changes. Ideally, these are changes in your life that will affect you for the rest of your life, or at least a long period of time. Longer than just 1 year. And when you frame it as like, this is my 2026 New Year resolution, for me, it kind of like locks that into the framework of like a single year. I don't want to make this change for just 1 year. I don't want to put it in the context of just this single year. I want this to be my entire life. Ideally. I want this to like change how I live my life overall and not just how I live my life this year. I think it's perfect. Like, I have goals for this year. I have things that I would like to accomplish this year, obviously, but I don't consider it like a resolution. I don't like the idea of like, this year I'm gonna start exercising, because ideally that is an overall lifestyle change that will affect you for the rest of your life. I don't like framing that as like, this is my 2026 resolution, because that locks it into just 2026. It feels limiting. I think it's cool to have goals for the year. I have goals for this year and things that I want to accomplish within this time frame, but I'm not gonna like, the new year is so important to me because it gives me it feels kind of like, I don't know, like it doesn't really feel like a good sense of motivation for me to do something. If I'm just like, new year, new me, this is why I'm gonna do this thing. This is why I'm gonna do this thing. It feels like I'm not actually creating the internal like infrastructure for actually truly implementing this change in my life. It's kind of just like, well, it's a new year, so I should change things. And I don't, like, obviously I have things I want to change and I have ways I want to improve myself, but these are things that I've wanted to change and improve within myself for a long time. It's not just right now. It is always. And that is, forget New Year, New Me. It is now New Year, New Kit. See, that's what I can get behind. I say this like I'm not building a kit I started I started this kit last year. Oh my god, guys, I haven't streamed since last year. I can't believe I didn't start the stream with that joke. I like really just missed that. But I do believe in New Year, New Kit. I did think about doing that, but I didn't want to abandon Red Gundam because I like Red Gundam. And I knew that if I stopped building it now, I don't think I would get it finished anytime soon. Especially if I started another kit. So I'm like, no, we are going to finish Red Gundam before I start something else. So, but otherwise, I do believe in New Year, New Kit. I mean, my New Year, New Kit was this guy. I did get this guy very recently. So this is technically the new kit that I'm starting this year. You know, I always love a good reason to treat yourself to more gunpla. I think there's always a good reason to treat yourself to new gunpla. I think that's so neat. I also just realized now I've been completely ignoring the stickers. There have been several times when I think the kid has told me to put on like a certain decal and I just didn't. That's because I don't think I need to. Honestly, sometimes with the like metallic decals, I still put them on. But overall, I think I'm fine without the decals. I think we'll live without the decals. Yeah, actually, fun fact, I got this thumb injury while I was cooking my New Year's dinner. And it, you know, I think I said before, somehow, rare kitchen injury that did not involve a knife. I won't talk about the more gruesome aspects of it, but I did manage to somehow injure myself while harvesting pomegranate seeds. Like, I already cut the pomegranate. I'd already put the knife down. That's not when I got hurt. I was just holding the pomegranate trying to get the seeds out. That's when I managed to injure myself. Somehow I did accomplish this. This goes here, and now this guy goes in here. And now I put on his little hand. Oh, this is supposed to, yeah. Now I put on his little hand from somewhere. Where did it go? Here's the runner. Here's the runner that has the hands on it. I think I am going to finish off this arm and I'm gonna call it a day. I know the stream is supposed to be 2 hours long. I know it hasn't been 2 hours long in a little bit. I'm gonna have some water. But, yeah. And then I'm going to go and probably have some leftovers from what I cooked. Because there is still a few leftovers. I'm glad. Everything was very well received, but there are always leftovers because I would rather have too much than too little. I love cooking too much. I always cook too much of things. Oh my god, he has an arm. He's got an arm now. Wait, let's look at him. Let's look at him. Look at that. Look at that. He's got an arm now. That's so cool. He's got an arm. He's got one arm. He can grip one thing. He can grip a single beam saber. Love you, Red Gundam. But yeah, I'm a little hungry. I think I'm tired. I've been tired in general. I'll be 100% real. I spent this morning playing Stardew Valley. I've spent, honestly, a good chunk of the new year playing Stardew Valley. Because I had work. I did not have work yesterday. I do have work today. So I have to go do that. But because I had a day off yesterday, one of the things that I've been trying to make an effort in for a little while now, it's not just the new year, it's for a little while now, is like not feel like I constantly have to be as efficient with my time as possible. Who's your spouse? My wife is Char Aznable. My wife is Char Aznable. I honestly forgot if you're asking that for real. But to me, my wife is Char Aznable. I do also have a significant other, but that is unfortunately not Char Aznable and is like a three-dimensional person, but that's honestly a little irrelevant. In Stardew, oh my god, in Stardew! Okay, so I play Stardew with 10 million mods. For complete transparency, I play with 10 million mods. I've played every single route, every marriage route in this game. And currently, my friend sent me a mod that turns Sebastian into like a beautiful anime vampire boy, and I am really into that, and that's what I'm playing right now. So right now I'm pursuing Sebastian. I am pursuing Sebastian but he's a vampire. But he's a vampire right now. And so I have been kind of trying. I already don't give myself a lot of free time. I'm pretty bad at giving myself free time. And like actually having it be free time and not like forcing myself to be productive. I always have to feel like I'm productive. I always have to feel like my time is useful. I'm like, oh my god, I have like 2 hours of free time. I have to watch a movie. Like I want to watch a movie. But also I can't just have it be like anything. It has to be something that I think is like enriching to myself and will better me as like a person and an artist. And I'm like, and then by the time I finish thinking about that and picking out a movie that I feel like will properly enrich me and that I actually want to watch, it has already been an hour and I no longer have time to watch the movie. Like, I trap myself in that quite often. In just like having to have my time be useful. And I need to stop doing that. So I have taken to kind of just like, okay, I have free time. I am going to do the first thing that really comes to mind. And I'm just going to do it until I don't feel like doing it anymore. You know? And I felt like playing Stardew Valley because I have this new mod pack that makes Sebastian a vampire, and also lets me open a tea shop, okay? And I want to do that. And I'm like, you know what? I just wanted to play Stardew. And so that's what I've been doing. And you know, if I get to a point, I also, again, I'm so bad at doing this to myself. I'm like, okay, I am going to play Stardew until, like, I finished the Sebastian, like, the storyline. Because it's actually a very good and, like, thorough mod of, like, it adds an entire storyline of how it's actually really sad that he's a vampire and that he suffers from it. And it's complicated. There's a lot of stuff happening. And I want to play through the storyline. And so I'm just going to obsessively play Stardew until I finish it. So that way I'll be free from the shackles of Stardew. And I will play something else that I think is more valuable with my time than play this farming game that I have already 500 hours in. But I'm like, that's such a terrible way to think about hobbies and activities. That's such a terrible way to frame it. Like, I play Stardew because I like it. I play games because I like them. I don't have to treat everything as like, is this the most valuable use of my time that I could be doing right now? I don't have to do that. I don't have to live like that. And so I am trying really hard to kind of just like do what I feel like taking some time, having myself a think. I love that. This is a reference to a girl who makes videos on the internet. Just having a think. She's very Scottish. Love her. And I'm like, I just gotta have a little think more. I just gotta do that more. Where I sit down and I'm like, what do I just want to do right now? What is my first instinct to do right now? And for the past day, it's been play Stardew Valley. It has been to play Stardew Valley. And so that's what I have been doing. And that's what I will probably continue doing until I don't feel like doing it anymore. And so that's honestly what I've spent the better part of the new year so far doing. Is finish cleaning up from the party for the most part. Obviously, we're never free. But we finished more or less cleaning up from the party. I made bagels because I guess that's a tradition now that we're doing. Because last year, on New Year's Day, I made bagels. And my partner, who was not in the States at the time, was like, I can't believe you made bagels and I wasn't there. And I was like, well, okay, I'll make them again. And so this year, because this time he is here, I made bagels. I made the bagels again. And now it is like, I guess it's a New Year's tradition that on New Year's Day, I make bagels. How are you enjoying the build so far? The light gun cannon in the backlog. Personally, not super fan of gQuack's Gundam redesign. Okay. I like the build. This has been a pretty fun, normal build so far. Wait, let me see if I can zoom in on him anymore. I am not going to say that this kit has been reinventing the wheel in terms of high-grade gunpla. I will not say it's reinvented the wheel, but it is a nice, solid, high-grade build. I, unfortunately, am a Hideaki Anno fan. I like the gQuack's designs, okay? I, too, think they're a little ugly, but they're ugly in a way that I like. I actually quite like the Gundam gQuack's redesigns. Where is he? Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at him. His proportions, awful. But I love him nonetheless. It's like weird and kind of uncanny because is that the Evangelion fella? Yes. Hideaki Anno is the guy who made Evangelion and the guy who helped found Studio Kara and also I think helped produce. I think he was a producer. I think that's what he was for gQuack's. He was a producer for gQuack's. And he has a very specific design. He has a very specific design aesthetic. That's what Evangelions look like. Evangelions look weird and uncanny because they're robots with almost human proportions. Regular Gundam are proportioned blocky. They're humanoid because they have arms and legs and torsos and heads. but it's like, oh, it's not like, it doesn't feel weird, because Gundams are like a certain proportioning of like, this is still a robot. It's a robot that has arms and legs, like, but it's still a robot. Something about Hideaki Anno's design. Hideaki Anno's like design sense loves making robots with like weird, uncanny, human but not human proportions. And with Evangelion, that really worked because that was kind of the point. But then he just keeps doing it. He did the Gundam too, and honestly, I quite like it. Yeah, I just don't like the face. Honestly, the rest of the design is fire. The Gundam faces just look like old man faces. I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't say that I don't see it. I can't say that I don't see it. I do. I do. But personally, I'm okay with the old man face. I think I'm okay with the old man face. I kind of like that he just looks like that. I do enjoy that he kind of just looks like that. I am honestly not fully sure what it's trying, like, I think it's trying to look kind of like a mask. And I do think it's a little ugly. Because he's got this weird, let me see if we can zoom in more and like actually focus on this, because I'm already zoomed in as far as I can be zoomed in with this lens. Like, it's supposed to look kind of like a mask. Like, I can see that, but he's got this weird little like chin. It's just, it is proportioned weird. It looks weird. I don't really know why there's these other little holes in there. I think it's for like the symmetry of it all. But you know, the chin is supposed to be a camera, yeah. It sure are, like, these sure are some design choices. These sure are some design choices that they made for this Gundam. And I do get that. But I just think it's funny. I just think it looks goofy and he looks ugly, and I'm always partial to like Hideaki Anno's specific design sense. And I still quite like it. The build itself is fine. It's a solid high grade. I guess I'll find out when I'm like done putting it together, but like nothing is wiggly, nothing is loose so far. When it comes to like the torso, like his torso is not super maneuverable. Oh, that just fell off, but that was my fault. That was my fault for this falling off. Where does this go again? Oh, it's this little piece over here. I think do I want tweezers for this? No, I think I'll be fine. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm always going to be partial to his specific design sense. I think that the two reds are kind of clashing on these plastics. I'm not the biggest fan of the difference in textures, but like he looks weird and he looks funky, and I think the like salmon red and the like more saturated kind of blood red look a little weird. I'm generally not an Ace Suit fan. Zaku's and GMs are always on my mind. You're like 100% real though. No, I think that's valid. Like everyone has their own, like I like Zaku's. I quite like Zaku's too. One of my favorite mobile suits is Char Zaku. I love Char Zaku. It's just like a nice solid Zaku design, and it sets itself apart as like the iconic red. I love a lot of the grunt suit designs too. And I think that's great. And I think that's pretty valid. I think if you don't like this kind of design, these kits are probably, I wouldn't say it's worth it, because it's not like they're like, these are outstandingly good kits. Like there's some kits like Moon Gundam. Moon Gundam is such a good high grade that I'm like, I don't even care whether or not you like Moon Gundam. I think it's worth it because it's just it's such a good kit. Yeah. Zakuan is my favorite, but G-Quack Zaku is super fun, and it has sneakers. He's got little I love that. I love that he's got sneakers. But I wouldn't say this kit is one that you like gotta run out and buy. It's a solid high grade. I think it's pretty good, and I like the design, so I like this kit. But if you're not really sold on the design, I think it's fine. I don't really have any complaints about the build so far. The torso isn't super maneuverable, but I haven't really built his legs yet, so we'll see how the legs turn out. But so far the arms, everything else is like pretty normal for a high grade. And I am perfectly satisfied with it. But anyhow, I think this is a good place to stop with Mr. Red Gundam. I will be back to continue working on Red Gundam next week. At the same time, you know, at 11, theoretically, if I don't leave my toolbox in my car again like I did today, and I had to run out to my car at 10:55 so that I could go get it. And yeah, but that's not gonna happen this time. I'm gonna have my toolbox and I'll actually start on time. It shares some engineering with the light gun cannon, so this is good info. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's useful. I do like the light gun cannon. I do like gun cannon. I think the gun I haven't built the light gun cannon, but I think it'll also be a good solid build. This is just like a nice solid little high grade. I have no complaints about it, and I think you'll probably like the gun cannon. And I will continue this next week, and we'll see if I keep liking it. I'm gonna go and have lunch. And yeah. Thank you all, everyone who tuned in. Thank you for talking and hanging out with me while I talk about whatever I felt like. And I worked on Red Gundam. I had a good time. And I will be back next week. I hope. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May we all have some cheer. Da, 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 da. To me, the canon New Year's song is Happy New Year by ABBA. I really hope copyright doesn't kill me for that one. But anyway, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. May we all have some cheer. Da, da, da.